Okay, it's time to find out just how much damage Zen can actually pull off, right? His potential max when it comes to Crouching Tiger and Tiger Swipe. So we're going to take full advantage of the new legendary chess piece because it is, in my honest opinion, absolutely busted with Zen. It allows you to turn so many draw cards into positive draw. For instance, right now, when we transcend, we get that bonus resource, meaning I can play the Tenant here for its 3 draw off of just 1 chi rather than trying to actually pitch 2 cards for the 4. And that is fantastic because it means we have cash in off the Crown and Gold, cash in off the cash out. We have Mage Master and Tome of Ferendale off of the resource generating through Transcended to all be +1 draw, meaning our hand size is going to be quite massive. So the basic goal we're going for right now is to just draw through the deck, right? So we do actually have pretty decent odds as long as the deck is this size, right? So basically we've got 3 Art of Wars, 3 cash outs, 1 tome, the Tenants, so that's 8 draw in total, so a third of our deck. So most of the time we will go from draw to draw to draw, which is exactly what we want because the main idea is to cycle through the deck and make sure that we get all the pieces to line up. Now, there is obviously a balancing act. So for instance, Art of War, we want Roar of the Tiger because Roar of the Tiger puts a Crouching Tiger in our hand and again allows us to turn Art of War from what's normally a negative draw into neutral draw. So we get the resources from Transcending, that covers the cost of Art of War, and we get the Crouching Tiger from Roar to actually then draw 2 cards and get the 2 buffs, which is, again, fantastic. There's just so many ways in Zen to cheat out this style of mechanic where you can either, again, turn these powerful draw cards into neutral draw and just completely pass over their detriment, or take these other really powerful draw cards and turn them into positive draw, which as you can see right now, our hand is at 7. Now we are at the final steps and I'm debating what exactly to do because we want to use Zen's ability to get the 3rd Tiger Stripe. I don't want to draw into it off of the cash in, but we also need all the chi and the resources. So we did have to do the shuffle just in case. Now we can cash in and we're actually looking for a 4th cash in, right? So if this was going too quick, don't worry. Once we get to the Tiger side of things, I will sit down and explain it a lot better because we do have a lot of Tigers to click, but we're almost done. As you can see, we have our 3 predatory strikes and our 3 swipes. Yeah, that's insane, right? So 9 Tigers off the predatory strikes, plus a few extra lingering around from the Sacred Art or Zen, depending on, again, the order of draw, and then 3 Tiger swipes. So this is going to be insane. Yeah, and that was just the first cycle of Tigers too. We did a whopping 84 damage before we even Tiger swiped, right? So your opponent would most likely be KO'd at this point. There's no way they could block through that and they wouldn't even have a chance to really disrupt this, but onwards. So since we have quite a bit of time, right, while I play through the Tigers, how about we go over the draw mechanics a little bit more in detail? Okay, so this is the logical order, right? So what I use to actually plan out the combo and figure out what would be the max string that you could utilize. So starting off, we have cash out. Now, cash out is going to hit the Crown, the Null Rune Gloves, as well as our 2 daggers. This nets us 4 silver, which is very important because that means through the Crown, we have 1 gold and 4 silver, which perfectly covers the cost of our 3 cash-ins. By utilizing the silver and the gold, this allows us to go positive 3 cards in hand, -1 off the cash out. So we're now +2, meaning we have 6 total cards in hand starting off. But we actually need 1 more cash in to do what we want to do. So this is where we're going to utilize Preserve Tradition, which allows us to cycle 1 action card back, in this case being the cash in. Now following this, we need a way to shuffle because Preserve Tradition will put it to the bottom of the deck. So we can either use Zen's ability to force shuffle the deck, or we can use something like Stir the Pot to also shuffle. By using Stir the Pot in conjunction with Preserve Tradition, we've now also generated 2 resources thanks to our legendary chess piece. This means that we can follow it up with something like Mage Master Boots and Tome of Ferendale to be another positive draw, meaning our current hand size is now 7. After that, it's on to Roar and Art of War. So again, by utilizing Transcend along with the legendary chess piece, we can play each Art of War for free. So by transcending, we generate chi, 1 resource, can then play Roar of the Tiger to create a Crouching Tiger in hand, and then Art of War to banish it, gaining the 2 buffs and cycling the 2 cards away. Now, we also do have to play the Sacred Art, so unfortunately this is a -1 despite it generating a resource through the legendary chess piece, and of course returning a chi to hand, we still have to invest the 1 card to pitch into it. So that makes our hand back to being 6 in total. Now, the unfortunate issue of doing all this is our hand is also flooded with chi. So despite having 6 cards, a lot of that is going to be cheat. So the last step is to then cycle away those cards through the recycled cash in, and of course the tenants, to then be able to find the combo pieces we actually want. We also lose one more card to our hero ability, since we do have to sacrifice 1 chi, meaning that we go down to 5 cards in total. The 2 Tiger Swipes plus the 1 Banished, and then 3 Predatory Streak. And just like that, we end up where we are right now, with a massive hand of Crouching Tigers. And with that, we're up to the last Tiger Swipe. So sit back and enjoy the massive, insane amount of damage. So, what do you think? Not too shabby, right? 3 Art of War buffs, 3 Roar of the Tiger buffs, 1 Sacred Art, 7 damaged tigers, not to mention all here on turn 1 for a total of 693 damage. Yeah, I think they'll do just fine. Okay, so the build, right? Basically, it's just drawing through your deck, getting Art of War off, Roar of the Tiger, and ending with 3 Predatory Strikes, 2 Tiger Swipes, and 1 from Zen. And yeah, does a lot of damage, but here's the thing. Technically I lied. It's not the max damage, no. There is one more line you could add to this that is absolutely ridiculously hard to pull off, but would net a ton of extra damage. And that is, if we scroll all the way down, Remembrance. So basically what we're doing, again, is cheating out the cost of a lot of cards through the legendary chess piece. This card is, I don't know what they were thinking, right? It should have a once per turn cap. I know the understanding is, obviously you can only transcend once, but if you do it all in the same turn, this is where this spawns. And basically, right, again, with Tome, if you get 1 transcend off, Tome is now free. You get 2 off, it's now positive, because you don't have to pitch a card for Mage Master. And turning any single draw in the game into positive draw is how combos really shine. So if we add an extra 4 transcends and we manage to get them all off using a singular Crouching Tiger, because these are all the target attack gets, right? Well, except for this one, but I can't use this against the bot anyway. So target attack and target attack. So if we use 1 singular Crouching Tiger for 0 cost and play all these, get the 4 resources from it, we can then remembrance back a cash in. Right, a second cash in, because if you remember, I preserved tradition 1 of them. So with that second cash in and 2 more cards from Remembrance, what can we do? Well, we take 2 more Predatories, we could take 2 more Roars, and yeah, that would be the absolute max damage line, right? So through the course of 1 turn, you're playing 5 cash ins, and they're all netting you cards. That is insane to me. So damage-wise, I don't know how many chain links we actually did, right? I'll have to watch it back, but this would basically add an extra... If you did 2 Predatory Strikes, it would be 6, right, for the first Tiger Swipe. So then that would net you back 6, and then the next one would net you back 12, and then the last one would net you back 18 extra, if I counted correctly, right? It's either 18 or 24. Either way, times it by 7, and that's an insane amount of damage. The question is whether or not the chain links mean that Roar of the Tiger and getting that 1 damage extra is better. So if there was more chain links than the Tigers you can generate, times 7, mind you, then Roar of the Tiger is better. So I don't think Roar of the Tiger is better. But the flexibility here is obviously if you get to the point where you have Remembrance in hand, right, you're just trying to hit 3 things. Cash in and either Predatory Strike or Roar of the Tiger. So that would be the absolute max damage. And I don't know, maybe I'll work it out and put it on screen for you right now. If not, I'm lazy. But there is also a more consistent version. So one of the biggest issues with this deck is our way to activate Transcend. And that is either through 2 Transcend cards or simply cash out. And that makes it extremely hard to actually pull off. So if we were to, for instance, change and swap to Predatory Strike, or throw in some of the other wonderful new draw engines by way of Levels of Enlightenment is a fantastic one. Especially, again, if we're making it free and generating resources through the legendary chess piece or First Stand of the Moon, just a cycle, but again, be blue, then we could add a bit more consistency to the deck overall. I think just the predatory strike in themselves, I know you're decreasing from 9 predatory strikes to 3, would just make it insanely easy to pull off. And again, in terms of this combo, we carried the opponent easily before we even got to the Tiger Sweep, right? 63 damage is hard to vary negate. Now, the shutdowns for the opponents would be Chains of Emeralds, and I'd actually chains the Crouching Tiger, right? So that's, it's the ultimate middle finger. We've spent our turn drawing, pitching chi, doing all this, stacking up our tigers, and then when we go to start that first chain, you take a 7, and you instant, and you don't let me play any more Crouching Tigers. That would be just bad. Whereas if you were to chain to chi, well, then I'm probably just going to stop the chain and go for a smaller one next time. So yes, Zen is by far the most disgusting character, right? With, minor counters, any way to shut down the go again, sure. So traps, Riptide. Other than that, is there anything? Frostbite, but when are we getting tails again? So yeah, insane, very insane. If you got the confidence, you can try, right? Take this exact line, chuck in Remembrance in the 4, and yeah, experience the difficulty of actually getting this to show off, because it is insane RNG. Don't get me wrong, right? The full combo is obviously overkill, but it is equivalently as hard to pull off. Now, again, smaller, right? Even just 9 tigers with a couple Art of Wars, a couple Royal Tigers. We were doing 5 apiece, right? So that's cutting out 1 Art of War, 1 Royal the Tiger. That would still be 45 damage, right? With no Tiger Swipe, no nothing else, just Predatories. And you take some other cards to increase the Tigers, make it a bit more consistent than being shut down by Tiger Swipe, right? So, yeah, this is to the extreme, but there's bits and parts in here that I do think are definitely useful across the board. So I do hope you enjoyed. See ya.